Divine greetings, Masters. Very good evening, good morning, and good afternoon. This is Madhu Soni, welcoming you all to Light and Soul Meditation English Group. Thank you so much, Masters, for sharing your precious time, space, and energy. And thank you for coming here and helping each other, helping your own self. So, before we start, let us give our gratitude, respects, and regards to the Masters with great respects to all the divine beings masters who are connected with Most High. We are really, really grateful to each and every one, to the masters from the elemental kingdom, plant kingdom, mineral kingdom, and animal kingdom, and human kingdom, and to the masters from all the realms, spiritual, angelic, and astral realm, to the Param Guru Mandalis, Saptarishi Mandal masters, the Siddhas, the ascended realm masters, and to all the teachers, healers, gurus, and mentors, to our great grandmaster Pitamaha Brahma Rishi Patri Sir, Mahavatar Babaji, to Mother Earth, Mother Nature, Father Universe, Sun, Moon, and constellations. Dear Masters, we are really thankful and grateful for everything that you have showered on each and every one of us in the form of grace. Dear Masters, we ask and pray to you at this time to help us align with the soul plan purpose and also align with the highest timeline that we have set for our incarnation. Also keep us in alignment with the truth that we have in our life, the truth that who we are, the truth about us, the truth that we need to speak, the truth that we need to know, and also to walk the path of truth. And this will actually help us in all the areas of our life. Dear Masters, connect us with your consciousness. Help us with your divine wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. The wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that you got, may we also get the same, Masters. So thank you so much. Keep us in alignment. Keep us with you always, and shower your blessings, grace on each and every one of us. With great respects, we are really, really thankful to all the meditators, to all the masters who are always connecting with us on this platform, Masters. Thank you so much. Thank you to all the Light and Soul Meditation Group members and to the Love Light Station YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Masters. Thank you. So very warm welcome, everyone. Today we will be talking about Aurobindo Ghose, Sri Aurobindo Ghose. He is a great master, prominent master, and his journey started in the 1800s, I would say. And from there, he started, living his life. And he was not only, a yogi, but he was also he was called a Maharishi, and he was also a a Indian nationalist. So, Sri Aurobindo Ghosh, he was called Aurobindo Ghosh, but later he actually started writing his name as Sri Aurobindo Ghosh when he started his ashram. But when he was born, it was 15th of August 1872. This was the time when he was born. And then later he died on 5th of December 1950. So his journey started on 15th of August. The year was 1872. So 1872 was the year that when he was born. And so his parents, later we will definitely talk about his parents also. He was also known as, the Maharishi Yogi, and he also had, edited the newspaper Bande Matram. So he was the editor also, and he was editing also. He also wrote, many poems, many works of his are found in the paper called Arya, which was he started writing in that. Aurobindo Master had studied the Indian civil services. Okay, so he wanted to do, something else, but at that time, at their home, basically, Aurobindo, their. So let me tell you. So he had four siblings. Basically, he was the third one. Sorry, the second one, I think. Yeah, something like that. And then there were two, there were two elder brothers before him, and after him there were two siblings again. One was Sarojini, and the other one was, I don't remember his name, but I'll let you know in some time. But then, so these like five children were there, and so they were also into the Indian civil services, the first two brothers. Okay, so Sri Aurobindo also studied Indian civil service at King's College in Cambridge. So basically, the alma mater, as they say, alma mater was University of Cambridge. That means, when we say that we completed our studies from particular university, so the alma mater is was the University of Cambridge in England. So after he returned from India, he actually took up many civil services under the Maharaja of Baroda, and he also involved himself into the national politics, the Indian National Congress politics, and so he started with the basically the first timers of the revolutionary movement in Bengal, and it was called as the Anushilan Samiti. He was later arrested, and he was also linked to the bombings that happened, and he had to face public trials, and then he was there in Alipur at that time, so it was called as Alipur conspiracy, and then later he was acquitted and he was released, and then he moved to Pondicherry. So this was basically where he started going into the spiritual life. He started taking that journey forward, and then he started practicing integral yoga, where he started writing many of his essays were there. The synthesis of many of his work was also done. So he wrote The Life Divine, which deals with the philosophical aspect of integral yoga. And then, so in this time, when he was doing this integral yoga, so basically, um, he had been telling that the spirit manifests itself. So as you go within, not only you, so it's the human mind becomes the supramental, basically the unconscious, the unmanifested, and the manifested. In between these two lines there is a huge difference, right? But the unmanifested, which we haven't, at this time we consciously think about something, we think that this is the only thing that can happen, right? But with the unmanifested, there are many things that can happen. It's like the how we can say randomly we can pick things that these are certain things, but there is everything that you want to manifest. There is everything out there and you can manifest. Your mind can become a super mind, and that is what he believed in. So as he went into the practice of the integral yoga, he started getting this the philosophical aspect of integral yoga, where he started writing about that subject in The Life Divine. And also later on he also wrote The Synthesis of Yoga. What happens, or what is the collection of things that come, or how he collected all those things, or when we say in Hindi, the nichod, the synthesis, when you synthesize something, when you break down the things, and when you look at it, and then when you take it in with a one particular result, what comes out, the arc of, or the immortal nectar, I would say, that kind of thing, right? So yoga also brought him a lot of understanding, and then later on he actually made this writing. He wrote this writing, Synthesis of Yoga, which deals with the principles and methods of how to reach to that integral yoga state. So in 1926, later he actually found Sri Aurobindo Ashram with the help of Mira Alfasa, who was also, a great lady who was also, there with him, who later on actually helped Master Aurobindo to, help bring up this ashram. So let me tell you where it is. Uh, it is actually so much that, it would not be easy for me also to speak about all those things. But he was also into the, so some of the things that I would like to share here is there is a lot of things that he did. And in Alipur also he went and he started. So yeah, so Sri Aurobindo's uh, close spiritual collaborator was Mira Alfasa. So she was born as Alfasa, and later she was known as the mother. So she was a French national, and she was born in Paris on 21st of February 1878. In her 20s, she studied occultism with Max Theon, and along with her husband, Paul Richard, she went to Pondicherry in 29th March, on 29th March 1914. And finally, she settled there in 1920. So she became her or Sri Aurobindo's, spiritual equal and the collaborator also. So when Sri Aurobindo wanted to retire into seclusion, at that time he left the ashram to be taken cared by this the mother. That was Mira Alfasa. Mirra, I think it was Mirra Alfasa. And so she had, like, basically he gave her the, you know um he gave her all the rights to plan, build, and run the ashram. And there were, like, at that time there were a lot of Aurobindo's disciples also, that who would come and help. And also later many families and children, they joined the ashrams. And like, she was the one who established Sri Aurobindo International Center of Education, with lot of, like, with its experiments in education. So that is how she was helping Master Aurobindo at that time. So masters, here in I would say, one second. So okay, yeah. So in the early life, now we are talking about his early life. So as when he was born in 15th of August, 1872 in Bengal. Basically at that time it was known as Calcutta or Kolkata, and it was under the Bengal presidency, and it was called India at that time. So Sri Aurobindo was born in a Kayast, Bengali Kayast family, and he was associated with the town Konnagar in the Hooghly district. At that time, the Hooghly district was called as West Bengal. Now we call it West Bengal. At that time, it was called Hooghly district. So his father name was Krishna Dhun Ghosh, and he was an assistant surgeon in Rangapur. Later, he became a civil surgeon in Khulna. And then his mother, Savitri Devi, Swarna Lata Devi, basically she had some issue. She gave birth to five children. So their name was, Binoy Bhushan and Manmohan. So these were the, two elder one, Binoy Bhushan and Manmohan. And then there were the younger sister who was called Sarojini, and the younger brother called Barindra Kumar. So I think he was the third child, right? At that time, he was the third child. So when the first child was born, at that time, his mother had some kind of mental illness. So it was not, okay for, all the other children to be with the mother. So at that time, he got separated and he was sent to England also at that time under a, reverend teacher, Christian teacher, I would say. So at that time, he became, his father, Krishna Dhun Bose, he became a former member of the Brahmo Samaj. So he became very much fascinated with the new theory of evolution. And he started, like, studying, when he was studying medicine in Edinburgh. So, and that is again in England, right, masters? So his mother, Swarnalata Devi's father, that means, um, Raj Narayan Bose, was a leading figure in Brahmo Samaj. So I think it's been said about um, Krishna Dhun Bose's mother, Swarnalata Devi. It was Krishna Dhun Bose's mother was Swarnalata Devi, not wife. And so she basically was sent to Calcutta for Aurobindo's birth, for its healthier environment. So Aurobindo had two elder siblings, and Binoy Bhushan, Manmohan, and a younger sister, Sarojini, and a younger brother, Barindra Kumar, which is also referred to as Barin later on. So Aurobindo had, spoken English, but he was used to Hindustani to communicate with servants. So although he was Bengali, his father believed that, the British culture is much superior. So he and his two elder siblings, that means three brothers, they all went to the English-speaking Loreto House. That was the boarding school in Darjeeling, and there they were imparted, the language skills also, and many other subjects, I would say. But at that time, he got separated with his mother, who had mental illness. And so, because it happened only after the child of you know, the first child that was born to Krishnadhan Bose. And so Darjeeling was actually the center for, Anglo-Indians at that time. And the school was run by Irish nuns. So through which the boys, they have been given lot of, religion, all about the Christian religion and the teachings of Christianity. The symbols also were taught to them. And which basically later, as they say, Aurobindo never liked it. Sri Aurobindo never liked it, but because they were sent and they had to be there, so he was, learning about it. So it now when we are talking about Sri Aurobindo, he was in England 1879 to 1893. So uh, Krishnadhan Bose, where his father, meaning Sri Aurobindo's father, he wanted his sons to do the Indian civil services. He want their son to all of them to do the enter the Indian civil services, which was basically 1,000 people are there in that organization. And so I think he was among the 250 people that passes, he was the 11th person who passed, Sri Aurobindo. But how that happened was the two elder brothers, the three brothers who were actually placed in that, in the care of Reverend W.H. Drewett in Manchester. So they, because they needed to study Indian civil services, so for that they needed many more things. So they needed to study in England. And so there went the entire family at that time. The entire family moved to moved to England in 1879. And that time, the children, the three boys, were actually put under the care of Reverend W.H. Drewett. And Drewett was actually a minister at the Congregational Church. And Krishna Dhun Ghosh, he was actually friends with some of his friends who were there. They knew him. And so um, uh, you know, uh, he actually asked to place his children there. So at that time, Mr. Druitt and his wife, they actually taught Latin to the boys, and that because that was the prerequisite for having a good English, for getting like basically for admitting themselves. Meaning for admission purpose, they need to have good English also, and they should know Latin. And after 2 years in 1861, the elder two siblings were actually enrolled at Manchester Grammar School. Aurobindo was considered too young at that time for enrollment. So he was basically studying with the Druids, and he was learning history, Latin, French, geography, and arithmetic. And at that time, Druid was told not to teach them religion. But because he was basically being raised by the Druids, at that time the boys were actually exposed to Christian teachings, and then which actually bored Aurobindo, and sometimes he would be very repulsed by this teaching. And then later on, very like he never had like too much of contact with his father. His father would leave, like he left the children there, and then he was not talking too much. He would always write letters, and he would communicate through letters, which is very very less. And at that time, he was basically, he felt that this British, government, or the British colonial government is very heartless. That's what he felt. And, that is why he was definitely reared in that area where he was kept with Mr. Drubert and his wife, but he never liked it. And then he thought that, they were like, he had little contact with his father through the letters. Whether he was raised there or not doesn't matter, but many people who were there with the British colonial government, was they did not like Aurobindo. Okay. And so he would say all these British colonial government is heartless, so that's why they didn't like it. So later on in 1884, Drewert was migrated to Australia. And so again, basically the children, the three children, were actually had to go to Druid's mother who used to live in London at that time. And at that time, Aurobindo and Manmohan, right? So Binoy Bhushan was the elder one, then second one was Manmohan, and third one was Aurobindo. So Aurobindo and Manmohan joined St. Paul's School there, and he also learned Greek, then reading literature, English poetry, many other things, and he became familiar with German and Italian also. So, as such, as they say, Mr. Aurobindo or Sri Aurobindo would had known 12 languages. So he would know English, French, Bengali, and then he also knew how to speak, read, and write, in English, French, and Bengali. But with Latin, Greek, and Sanskrit, he can read and write. With Gujarati, Marathi, and Hindi, he was able to speak and read. With Italian, German, and Spanish, he was able to read. So he was basically, he knew many languages. And then, um, with all the teachings that he was, put through, or when he was learning English and all the other languages, history subjects, so he was actually, felt that, there is like, he does not believe in God. That's kind of like, he started feeling that. And he also later determined that he was agnostic. So when you say agnostic, masters, it's basically it's a view or a belief that the existence of God, or the divine or the supernatural is either unknowable in principle or unknown in fact. And it can also mean that, you have no compassion or no understanding of anybody's religious belief. You don't want to understand. You don't want to, care for all those things, religious beliefs. And that actually would refer to personal limitation. But at that time, so he felt as if he's an atheist. So basically, where one starts feeling that there is no deities, basically the absence of deities. Okay, there is no existence of deities, and that is very much, absentism. There's no existence of deities. That was what atheism means. Okay, and it also means that, we are rejecting the thought of any deity. That is also called atheism. And ki, Bhagwan nahi hote and there's no God. So where he used to live in, London. So so let me show you the picture I actually had shared. 1 second. No, I did not share, I think. So this is the home, masters. This is the home. That is, I hope you all are seeing. Your videos are off, so I don't know what you are watching. Some people are watching. Here, this is the home in London that where he used to live. So it says 1872 to 19 something. It's 72 something. No, 1872 to 19 something. 19 not. Okay, Indian spiritual leader lived here. Okay, Sri Aurobindo. That is the basement. Basically, as you see, you can see the stairs going down, and that is the home where he used to live in London. Okay, and one more picture. So this is the Bande Mataram weekly. That was the weekly edition that he edited basically. So that is the picture gallery where this is. See, it says Calcutta, Sunday, September 29, 1907. Okay, number 18. So serial number 18. That is how they used to see how the paper looked. That's Aurobindo Ghosh, Sri Aurobindo Ghosh at that time. So he also, in very short, I would say that he was also kind of a freedom fighter where he started, mingling with all the, people who would fight for freedom for India. So he believed in non-violence, and also basically, he would go and he had this thinking that without doing this revolution or without the non-violence, we are not going to get freedom. So for that, he was basically he would had lot of speeches, also lot of other things that he said, wrote. Many people did not like it, And so he was also named that person who was actually, he was acquitted in that Alipur bombing case, and later on he was acquitted and he was released. But that is also one of the thing that, he was full-fledgedly working behind the scenes at that time when he was the principal of the National College, in Calcutta. So that is the time when, he started, going through with this, revolutionary activities. And when people started knowing, so he had to resign from that college. So later he resigned. Okay, he resigned, but his work then, at the backside of all those things, work front was all okay with, teaching and becoming the principal and all those things. But later he left everything, and then he started, pursue, basically, the revolutionary activities. His brothers basically at that time, so in 1889, Manmohan had determined to pursue literary career, and Binay Bhushan proved, basically, he thought that he is not, he cannot follow the necessary standards for the ICS entrance. So that means there was no one who would fulfill his father's promise or father's, likings or desires. So that was Aurobindo who actually went through that, and Aurobindo actually wanted to. So he has to give a test for ICS at that time, the Indian Civil Services exam. And so what he did was, because he did not want to do that, so he actually specifically did go to something else. There was a horse riding practical exam, so he purposefully went to, to that place to disqualify him for the service, basically. So that is how he also left and did not do the ICS. But and then in 1891, or Aurobindo was basically understanding, that there's so much, many things. With his spiritual work also, he started feeling that there was some kind of upheaval is going to happen, some kind of issue is going to take place with his motherland. And at that time, he is destined to play some major role. And before that, how this happened, how he started feeling was because he has this, when he started practicing this, the philosophical life, spiritual life, at that time he actually felt that Vivekananda started visiting him during his meditation time, basically, and he felt that his presence can be felt, and he felt that he has come to tell him all about, what he has to do, all those things. So he has this inner, uh, knowing, and also he started seeing Vivekanand in his spiritual practices, meditation and all those things. And that is why, later on he had this, like how we start downloading the message that this message is there. So at that time this message also was felt by Sri Aurobindo, that something is going to happen with motherland, and so he needs to be there. And so later on he returned to India, and so he began to learn Bengali, and he joined a secret society, and he named that, romantically, like how when you in Hindi you call, um, um, the lotus, lotus and dagger. Like romantically, he named that, like, with that, immense desire to do something good for the, for India, where his motherland, where he used to live. And so, uh, as we talk about, lotus, it's the consciousness. And when we talk about dagger, it's about the state of being a warrior. Dagger is like when you have to use the dagger with your mind. You are using, not only like how we say, if you want to do hard work, at least do some smart work, so that you know how much hard work you need. Not every time you should do hard work, it should be smart work, right? So very similar to that. The lotus and dagger was the secret society's name, that he where he took an oath to work for India's freedom. So he was, as they say, so I'm writing this reading this line. The Maharaja of Baroda, Sayaji Rao Gaikwad III, was traveling in England. Cotton secured him a place in Baroda State Service and arranged for him to meet the prince. So there was a person named, let me see, what was the name? There's a lot of things, masters. It's like so much. I don't think that you. we can complete it quickly. But anyhow, so there was this person named Mr. Cotton, and at that time, Cotton actually placed him with a meeting with this prince. So he left England for India, arriving there in February 1893. In India, Krishnadhan Bose, who was waiting to receive his son, was misinformed and by his agents that the ship from which he was coming, Miss Sri Aurobindo was coming, that ship sank. So at the coast of Portugal. So listening to this news, his father died, and he basically now he came to India, but later, so in 1901, I think he started his journey into all this works of the revolutionary activities. But in 1906, he got married to his wife, Mrinalini, and where he later on, at the age of 31, she died. But at that time, he was a principal of the college, National College, and later he resigned also because they came to know about his activities. So he was very angry. I am reading in between also, Master. So just letting you know, because of the Britishers, the partition of Bengal happened, and that is why he did not like this a bit, and he was very much, he hated this, and he did not like it. So, okay, 1 second. Yeah. So at that time when he got married to Mrinalini, she was 14 years old. She was daughter of Bhupal Chandra Bose, and Aurobindo was 28 at that time. And so 17 years later, she died in 1918 during the influenza pandemic. So 1906, Aurobindo was appointed as the first principal of the National College in Calcutta, and then later he resigned, as I told you, in 1907, and because of his increased political activities. So one time he actually was involved into the killing of you know, a great, I now don't remember his name. 1 second, let me read it. It was Lord something, I forgot. 1 second, Masters. I read it, I forgot. I really read it and forgot. I'm so sorry, Masters. Yeah, yeah, it was in 1905. Lord Curzon was the Viceroy of India and who actually partitioned Bengal. So at that time, this actually created a lot of hatred outburst in the public, and the civil unrest also happened. And so he also did not like it. And at that time, this revolutionary group also involved Aurobindo. And 1908, Aurobindo Ghosh actually he met with this Khudiram Bose and Prafulla Chaki attempted to kill Magistrate Kingsford, and this magistrate who was the judge, he would hand down very severe sentences to the nationalist. So at that time, his carriage had been thrown with the bomb. Basically, he was that carriage was uh, was meant to be destroyed by the bomb, but it missed the target, and so he was saved. But there was the women and children, the British women and children who were killed at that time. So two British women and the wife and daughter of barrister Pringle Kennedy was killed, and Aurobindo was arrested on these charges of planning and overseeing the attack. And he was also put into confinement, and it was a solitary confinement in the Alipur jail. Later, after some time, he was again released. So many a times, whenever he was put into the solitary confinement or going into the jail, his defense counsel was Chitranjan Das, basically, who would actually take him out. So uh, that is the story of him, Masters. But later on, in 1910, Aurobindo withdrew himself from all political activities and went into hiding at Chantanagar. So against him, basically, he was, there was a warrant that was going to, to basically, arrest him. But because he went into hiding, so this warrant was withdrawn, and he actually hid in the house of Motilal Roy, um, while the British colonial government was attempting to prosecute him. And he signed an article called To My Countrymen, published in Karma Yogin. So he also had written Karma Yogin. Um, and that time, so these signature and all those things, they were there, and the government actually saw that, and he was being, the warrant was issued to arrest him. So it is written, as Aurobindo disappeared from view, the warrant was held back and the prosecution postponed. Aurobindo maneuvered the police into open action, and a warrant was issued on on 4th April 1910. But the warrant could not be executed because on that day he had reached Pondicherry, that was a French colony, and the warrant against Aurobindo was withdrawn. So Pondicherry, in that time frame of 1910 and 1950, Sri Aurobindo dedicated himself to his spiritual and philosophical pursuits. In 1914, after 4 years of secluded yoga, he started monthly philosophical magazine called Arya, which I told you all about. I'm just giving the detail now. Later on in 1921, this publication was stopped. He revised some of these works before they were published in the book form. So the book form was The Life Divine, The Synthesis of Yoga, Essays on the Gita, The Secret of the Veda, Hymns to the Mystic Fire, the Upanishads, okay, and the Renaissance of India, War and Determination, then the Human Cycle, the Ideal of Human Unity, and the Future Poetry were published in this magazine. And so, later in 1926, when he was staying in Pondicherry, many people started following him. There were like few followers, definitely, but then the numbers started growing, and it took place. Basically, the Aurobindo Ashram was founded in 1926. And from that time, he started to be known as Sri Aurobindo, and he started signing also with that name, Sri Aurobindo, which is like basically honoring oneself or honoring someone. So later on, there were certain letters also. People would ask for certain kind of help from him, and he would answer them through letters. So it would be like a lot of pages were there in the letters also. So those things were collected, the works were collected, and it was published in the book. So there were 3 volumes of that letters. So the volumes were 3 volumes of Letters on Yoga, that was named as Letters on Yoga. So in the late 1930s, he resumed work on a poem, and then he started earlier. He continued to expand and revise this poem for the rest of his life. It became perhaps his most outstanding literary achievement, Savitri, an epic spiritual poem in blank verse of approximately 24,000 lines. So basically, Savitri and Satyavan, the story in the Mahabharata, it's about them. So he started doing like writing this poem, and then later on he was also nominated. Okay, he did not get, but he was nominated twice for the Nobel Prize. In 1943 for the Nobel Prize in Literature, and in 1950 for the Nobel Prize in Peace. So he died on December 5th, 1950, of uremia. So uremia is basically a disease where you have uric acid deposits on your body or on your scalp also, because too much of urea is there in your body, and because of the you know acid and also sugar, I would say. Around 60,000 people attended to see his body resting peacefully. At that time, Indian Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru and the President Rajendra Prasad praised him for his contribution to yogic philosophy and independence movement. At that time, Mira Alfasa, the mother, as they say, she actually helped in planning, building, and taking care of the ashram. So later on, once Sri Aurobindo master had gone, so she started taking care of that ashram, and he continued his spiritual work later on. Okay, and she directed and she guided all the disciples. So there is many literary works of Sri Aurobindo. He actually worked on the integral yoga, the super mind also, where he started basically telling everyone that, the we have this super mind in the metaphysical system. We have this super mind which can actually help us. And also, it is an intermediary power between the unmanifested Brahman and the manifested world. Meaning, in Thinking and Destiny Masters, if you happen to see the series of Thinking and Destiny, which we did in the Hindi, English, sorry, the Light and Soul Meditation Group Hindi series, at that time we actually were doing the Thinking and Destiny, and in that, this unmanifested and the manifested had been explained nicely. So Sri Aurobindo claims that the supermind is not completely alien to us and can be realized within ourselves, as it is always present within mind, since the latter is in reality identical with the former and contains it as a potentiality within itself. So what do we think? That yes, mind can progress to a particular level, but no, there are like so many things that still the unmanifested remains unmanifested, because we are not even thinking about that. We only think about the manifested, that we want to manifest this. But how about there are different, like for me, if I want to become a doctor, or if I want to become a lawyer, or if I want to become a, there are these possibilities, right? The possibilities are there, but what did I choose? Because I, whatever I desired, I wanted to choose that. But for me, if I would have desired some things, I could have become that also. So I'm just giving a very, a low level example, but that is how it is, in bigger terms, I would say. So this is how he said that, within mind. Yeah. Okay. Sri Aurobindo does not portray supermind as an original invention of his own, but believes it can be found in the Vedas, and that the Vedic gods represent powers of the supermind. The internal yoga, he declares that by the supermind, the integral yoga, he declares that by the supermind is meant the full truth consciousness of the divine nature. The full truth consciousness of the divine nature, the Sat Chit Ananda state, and that is the Sat Chit. Basically, the truth is the consciousness which actually gives us Ananda, which is the bliss, divine nature in which there can be no place for the principle of division and ignorance. Whereas the principle is of, there is no place for division and ignorance, meaning you cannot divide the two. Everything is one. And also, you have to be aware, you cannot ignore. It is always the divine nature where actually the Purusha, surrenders and gives in. And the divine nature, everything is one. And it is always a full light and knowledge superior to all mental substance or mental movement. Supermind is a bridge between Sat Chit Ananda and the lower manifestation. And it is only through the supra mental, that mind, life and body can be spiritually transformed, as opposed to through Sachitananda. So basically, that's what they are saying, that it's only the supramental, the mind, that life and body can be spiritually transformed, as opposed to through Satchit Ananda. So that is where, I'm gonna stop, masters. But the descent of supermind will mean the creation of a supramental race. Meaning, if you want to create a life for you through your mind, you create your reality, that kind of thing, you can definitely create. It's like the unmanifested. From the unmanifested, you are manifesting things, that kind of thing. That the mind can become a super mind, a supra mind, higher level mind. From there, you can actually have a blissful life also. But it is very much different from Satchitanand. It is like the supra mind can bring, all those realities true. Whatever you want, it is there. But we think with the limited mindset or ego mind that, only few things can be achieved. But it is not so. That is what he always insisted on. So anyway, and then another thing, masters. So as he has written, I'm just going to read now. He also had, worked on, lot of, translation, and he wrote, many philosophies on many of the Upanishads and Gita also, and then practice of yoga also, you know, Renaissance of India. One second. So here he actually has also worked on the Isha Upanishad, which is considered one of the most important and more accessible writings of Sri Aurobindo. Okay, so he has really worked so much on this, and this is actually the one of the most important literary works of Sri Aurobindo, and we are really indebted to the Sri Aurobindo for he had put placed lot of quotations from Rig Veda, Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita at the beginning of the chapters in the Life Divine, and how the Veda and the Vedanta are connected, showing the connection. So that is also had come from Isha, like that is also had come from Sri Aurobindo, and okay. His legacy, it is wide ranging, and definitely, he has dedicated a lot of things to the Indian national movement at that time when we really needed it. And he also influenced Subhash Chandra Bose in taking that initiative to, help the Indian national movement at that time. And Haridas Chaudhary and Frederick Spiegelberg were among those who were inspired by Aurobindo, and they worked to form the American Academy of Asian Studies in San Francisco. And so soon after, Chaudhary and his wife Beena established the Cultural Integration Fellowship Program, from which later emerged the California Institute of Integral Studies. So, Masters, that was actually, many of the works. He influenced many people, and he worked a lot. And I missed, like, I'm not missing, but there's so much work that you cannot finish it in like 30 minutes. You cannot. But the point is, Masters, I just wanted to, you know, not I would say the master came itself. And then there were a lot of followers. His literary works are also given if you want to, go through the Wikipedia or Wikipedia, whatever you want to say. There are a lot of works. So he has primary works are Sri Aurobindo, um, and then the selected writings are also there. The Life Divine, Savitri, A Legend and a Symbol, The Synthesis of Yoga, Essays on the Gita, The Ideal of Human Unity, The Human Cycle, the Upanishads, The Secret of the Veda, Hymns to the Mystic Fire, The Mother. Then compilation, the secondary literature that he helped was The Integral Yoga, Sri Aurobindo's Teaching and the Method of Practice, The Future Evolution of Man. Maybe many people compile that because of his literary works. Maybe he has written some notebooks and all those things. The Essential Aurobindo, Writings of Sri Aurobindo, Bhagavad Gita and its Message, The Mind of Light, then Rebirth and Karma, Hour of God by Sri Aurobindo, Dictionary of Sri Aurobindo's Yoga, Vedic Symbolism, The Powers Within, Reading Sri Aurobindo, and so many other things, Masters. That was the end of our session today. Definitely, I cannot do justice to what I am saying at this time, but I would say when I was reading through, I felt, oh my goodness, that he actually had gone to England. He had been there in London also, and his lot of life he had spent there in that part of the world where Britishers used to live, and he actually came back to free India with the thought process, with the revolutionary activities, and also he was the planner also somewhere, the activity, the secret society. Um, Yes, Shilamji. And then um, I would tell you, I don't know why. I still don't know. But maybe I'm still, I would say, very young for to understand the master. Maybe he came through and I could not understand at that time. I'm still trying to figure it out. So in my experience, when I started coming into the spiritual journey from 2021, May 2021, the first few experiences, first was the Paramahansa Yogananda. No, not first, but first was actually the sun and then the seven horses, and in that center of the light, the Jyoti, I saw Sai Baba. Then came Guru Nanak Ji. I became Shiva. And then I saw Ramana Maharishi on the deathbed. In my experience, this is all about my meditative experience, Master. When I was meditating, that is the experience that I'm sharing at this time. And few days back, then I got to see Paramahansa Yogananda, Mahavatar Babaji, and Aurobindo Mahashay. So these were the few people, masters, who came into my meditation experience, and I could see them. And I was very, very like, I could not understand why they are coming. So Aurobindo Mahashay, when he came, I call him Aurobindo Mahashay, I don't know why. But when he came, I was, first of all, I didn't knew that he's this, because he came into his young, the young visual of Aurobindo, the young person. And I could see his dadi also, the beard, and he was there. Anyway, so maybe because somewhere down the line, I might also have been a warrior, and I would, not say, but I would maybe act as revolutionary. I don't know. I don't know yet. Let's see what. But yes, actually, some of the time I do behave like that. So maybe the master's blessings or the grace was there, and he was coming to teach me. And many of the meditations had been like that with the master's energy in the year 2021. Anyway, thank you so much, Masters, to hear me out. Maybe it was not that proficient, but I hope I was able to give into the little bit of details about Sri Aurobindo. If anybody would like to share anything that I left out, please do so. Or if I am not correct somewhere, please correct me. I'm totally, up for it. So I would love to hear from you if anybody wishes to share anything. So do let me know. I know it was a very difficult journey of him that I saw. Um, lot of hard work, but with smart work also. But one thing that I understood was that he was very much into the supra mental thing, the integral yoga thing, which I also understand when we started learning Thinking and Destiny book and we were doing the Swadhyay. This thing definitely came to me and it really helped. Why I say that is, we think that we are not able to do it. Even Patri sir was also like that, he would read many books within 1 hour. Like in an hour, he would finish the book. 1 hour and he's done. Not only 1 hour, but he had read so many books like that. For me, the subject of Thinking and Destiny, written by Harold Waldwin Percival, Master, is a very difficult subject. It's not easy. It's not for everyone to understand. And the language and the words that he had used, it had not been easy for anybody to understand. So we would actually translate into Hindi and then we would read it. But still, that Hindi was also so difficult because the words in the English were so difficult. So to understand the concept of that book, that manifested to the unmanifested, also was not easy. But whenever we used to connect with Harold Master consciously, that dear Master, we invoke you and your presence, and please help us and guide us to understand what you have written, so that we can understand this subject that you have written, or the in the language that you have written, and then we can convey to everyone. So I would have very less time. Maybe I would say sometime it would be 2 days only, like today evening time and then the morning time. And morning time I have to speak. And definitely, masters, I would say to understand all those subjects was not easy. But whenever I connected with the master, I was able to understand it easily within 1.5 day, I would say. Not 1.5, I would say half day. Meaning, or 1 day. I would say 1 day. 1 day. Let's take it 1 day. Because from night to morning, that's the time I got to read. And I would be like, I would definitely read it like at this time I'm saying. I would take the pages and I would sit and read, connect with the master. And I literally we would have to have read it twice, thrice, 4 times to understand that particular line. But then slowly, steadily, as I started connecting, I would understand everything as if master is making me understand. So people would ask questions and I would be able to answer that. How was that possible? It's a miracle. And that is because when you connect with any master, or when you consciously want to invoke their energies and the consciousness, you get connected. You think about them, you get connected. So um, the person who was Benoni Gattel. Benoni Gattel was the person who took down the channeling messages, the automatic writing. So he would sit in a position, he would not shift, and he would take the pen and he would write without shifting his body, without moving his body. That is such a difficult thing to even do, because during automatic writing, when the messages are free flowing, there is like, so it took actually 30-40 years to write that book. Okay, just imagine 30-40 years to write that one single book. It was not easy, masters. So Benoni Cattle says that this book is not written by me, so don't take my name, but it is Harold Master who conveyed this channeled message to me. And but I would also say our sages, Rishi Muni, also had inculcated so much in the Vedas, Puranas, and Upanishads also, Rig Vedas also. So thank you so much. I'm now gonna pause and let you all raise your hand if you want to. If not, we can go into meditation, masters. Anybody has anything to speak, share, or if everyone is done, then let's go into meditation, masters. Okay. Yes, Anshumanji.
Yeah, Namaste Madhuri. Very nice sharing. Again, lot of insights and power packed session about the life of uh, uh, Miraji also, as well
Mera,
as
Mera Alfasa.
yeah. Actually, recently I came across a book of prayers by the mother,
Oh,
and
wow.
the teachings are actually very, very, very profound. So maybe yes, about the lifestyle, life journey, you have explained very nicely. But maybe about the integral yoga and some of the concepts, maybe in sometime in the future, if
Yeah.
we can delve deep.
Definitely, definitely. We can delve deeper into all those subjects because, and this is very much, that's why I said that try to, if you wanna understand the subject, the Harold Masters book, Thinking in Destiny is very, very good to understand it. It is very easy. We don't know, at this time, we haven't read The Life Divine, but the integral yoga can actually help us when you become one with the divine and it when the spirit actually manifests itself. So now when you raise your consciousness, this little bit that I know of is in my own way of understanding. I can't like divulge more, but I can just only say this, that when you become one with the divine, so liberation is not the only thing that he believes in. He says that there is to just get liberated is not the only thing that you should do. You should actually become one with the divine when you go into enter the samadhi state, when you become all zero, and then the spirit manifests itself within you. And then you start a journey with the divine. You become the divine, you become one with the divine, meaning you are the divine. And at that time, everything becomes one. The spirit is basically, it comes onto you. You become that spirit. So that is most of the time I had always felt that the spirit is me. I am the spirit. And that is how I feel that the message is coming to me very easily. I don't need to make it complicate. It's like easy. I am like, when I'm connected to you, Anshumanji, or when I'm connected to Hillary, the way you guys think, if I suppose want to think about you, I can think about you and I know what you're thinking then and there. You cannot hide anything from me, or you cannot hide anything from Hillary, like that, or anybody. We can't hide because the point is we are all connected, interconnected. We are all one. Why we need to distinguish that I am separate and you are separate? We are all one. And then that is the time where the divine, uh, you know, comes into you, meaning you become the divine. You are the divine. You are the spirit itself, the holy thing, the divinity. And that is what the integral yoga actually is all about, where the mind is, you know, how to say, we have like antennas, catching all the frequencies, right? But when you say that, yes, that also, I know, my soul knows everything. What is that soul? That soul has become the spirit. It is connected to everything. Now when I'm connecting to everyone, it takes me some time, but yeah, when I'm connected, meaning I'm thinking about you, I'm thinking about people who are there in my life, and I would think and I would know what is going on. It's not a scary thing, but yeah, for people who don't know this subject, it would be scary because the divine knows everything about everyone. Just understand on this term, the divine, the supreme power, the supreme world knows everything, right? It's nothing is hidden. So when you connect with that truth, when you have this truth inside you, when your consciousness is built on the platform of truth, what do you achieve? you become blissful because you don't have anywhere to go. You are in that blissful state. But you have let go of everything, and then you have become one with the divine. Meaning now I'm there with you. You are there with me. You are within me. I am within you. We have become one. Now, when I have become one with my divine, with the divinity within me, with the truth that, I'm not hiding with whatever the truth is. I know my truth. I know what the truth is out there, but I want to choose the truth and I want to speak the truth, and I have become one with the truth. At that time, what do you feel? You feel divinity pass through, inside out or outside in, whatever it is. Just imagine. And then when you say that I want to manifest so and so, you are the divine. Nothing is impossible for you. You can manifest everything, all the possibilities, right? What do we call that? Random choosing, everything is there. You can become this, that, whatever. So if I pick and choose what I want for myself, it's like shopping, with great money. I have good money, energy, and then I'm picking, I want this for my life. And in this lifetime, if I want, I can choose anything. And this goes with everything. If they tap into this divinity and they become one into their own self, they will actually understand what I'm talking about. And anyhow, I'm going to pause. Okay, Anshumanji, you want to say something?
No, I think it's quite deep what you're saying, and certainly I think more deliberation and discussion is required. And his teachings about integral yoga and I think that yoga with living in that yoga consciousness with everything and all objects.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is
yeah.
it is actually quite profound. It's and also I mean he talked about evolution and involution, and I think a lot of deep concepts, not easy to understand. I think very
It will
I mean
take time. It will take time. But then the point is, इसको, in Hindi, as we say, इसको ऐसे समझ सकते हैं, or we can understand it like this, that, you know, that this thing came into me and just went, oh my God. So now what happens is that there are so many things, but when you want to choose particular thing in your life, you can actually think about it. You get connected to that energy. Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. That suppose whatever is happening around you, meaning everything that is happening around you, everything is giving message. Even the non-living matter also. Even the non-living matter also. So the matter exists, but in that there is consciousness. Now, when I say this, why I say this is, from childhood, I have this understanding that everything has a mind of its own, and everything works, everything listens to you, everything is watching you. That is what my understanding was from childhood. So I would always take care of my stuff, always. I don't know why, but this is what I have learned with experience, that if something is not working, you just give them a nice love and you say, work, you have to work, you cannot stop. And then that is how it would start. That I have done this in my childhood days with my father, standing near the vehicle and the vehicle stopped. So I actually, just like how you would pet a dog, I would pet my vehicle and I would say, let's start. We need to go. I need to go. I need to go home. I want to go home with my dad. Please start. And it would start. And he would be like kicking for such a long time, but then it would start. So it's not, at times, maybe normal people would think, oh, it is just randomly it happened. But no, nothing happens without a reason. Something is there, no coincidences. So I have this understanding. Even at this time in my home, many things are not kept the way they should be. I'm not getting time. But the point is, I always tell my children, even me, to clean the stuff, to take care of things, small, small things, because every matter has consciousness and everything listens to you. Everything has a super mind, everything. Because if I believe that, yes, everything is mind, yes, it has mind in my home, yes, it does. And everything, if I say, everything gives me message, everything helps me, yeah, everything helps me because I'm manifesting that unmanifested part. I understood that concept, but to express it, it would be little difficult. Maybe at this time, not. Maybe I need more words and I need Hillary's help, I would say. But yeah, so last night you expressed nicely, Hillary, what I wanted to say. So thank you so much. But yeah, and Shivanji, that is what I want to say to everyone, that this is where It is not easy, like how when we talk about Charles Darwin and the theory of evolution, very similar to that. You know, everything is being created and, many things are there, but with the involution also, as you go within, you have the capacity to understand that the supra mind will definitely help you. There's this supra mind, supramental, you know, thoughts or supramental mind. Everything has its own mind within mind, I would say. So every cell has its own mind, every organ has its own mind. So when we say that our body has this brain there and that is where we start thinking, but no, every cell has its own mind, right? We are a universe on its own. Within us, around us, outside of us is the universe. Macrocosm, microcosm, right? Anyway, anything that you would like to share?
Thank you so much. I think I like this idea, and it's a takeaway for me about that everything has a mind, and everything is listening. So if we are mindful of our thoughts and our behavior and attitude towards even things, it matters. So
Yes.
certainly, I think.
Yes.
Thank you.
And that is what most of the time I feel, that where I live, the house listens to me. So this is one experience that came to me, just sharing, and then we can go into meditation. So as this house, when we were going to purchase, I was pregnant with my first child, my daughter. I was 5 months pregnant, and at that time we were just trying to search for good houses so that where we can, start settling down. We had home in Virginia, and then we sold that house. Well, it was not sold, but we gave the power of attorney to someone to sell it so that we can just start again, purchasing a house, and then we can settle. So at that time, I had, the baby inside of me, and we were searching. So the third house that came, this was this house. And as soon as I stepped in with the realtor was showing the house. And later on, after seeing the house, with one step inside, I felt that this is my house. This house speaks to me. And first step inside my house, I felt it. And I was like, why I'm feeling, but I don't know. Then I said to the realtor, I think this is going to be my home. I just said straight away. And that realtor was, I think, taken aback. And she said, don't be too quick to, say that. But then later on, actually, this house became ours. And so everything, like from the time I'm living here in this house, everything speaks to me. Everything speaks to me. The house, the walls, the watch, the bed. Ask me. Everything speaks to me. The way they are kept, or the way they convey the message. I can smell it. I can, like, see, smelling is like, it's a very, very, um I should not even use it, but with the house smell, the feel, the warmth, the climate, temperature, everything. Meaning that I'm behaving like a spirit. So I am actually letting you all understand the integral yoga part, where you start becoming one with your own self. You start understanding the finer things, everything around you. Basically, imagine that your body is like a spirit. It's like um, a vapor body kind of thing, and everything is touching, your body is touching everything. Meaning you are actually getting messages from everything around you. And that is where you are actually releasing that energy of your own into all around you, and then you are grabbing that messages from everything. Earth talks, your whatever you are surrounded by, everything talks. And that is where we all need to understand that the part where you start, you know practicing and going within, when you start silencing your mind, you start surrendering to the divine. You want to get liberated, and now you are the one who can take care of me. I don't want to do anything, just you are there with me. I know, I surrendered. I actually am in that state of surrenderance. When you are there, I have lived such a long life at this time. There is more to go, but with you there, certain things, when we are saying maktub, right? Maktub, it's maktub in my life, meaning I'm destined for certain things which I have thought. Anyway, Hilary, go ahead, please. It's good that,
Well, what you're describing reminds me of something I experienced recently, where we did a meditation together, and I visualized grounding myself and then um, opening the first three chakras
wow.
and opening them horizontally. So like a platform. And just the first three, and I could feel how it shifted my energy, my perception. Very beautiful. And then the following days, it's like what you just described. I could talk with the plants. I felt immediately what everybody was feeling. Everyone was smiling at me. And I felt like I was slowed down in a way. I figured out how to
Yeah.
describe it because I would look at something and I would really see it.
Yes.
Whereas normally in life, you see something and you say, oh, that's that. So you're seeing your thought about it.
Yes.
But I was really seeing whether it was a picture or it was somebody, or I mean, so many things. I was just amazed at how beautiful I was finding everything.
Yes, that's what. Even the tree smiles, the leaf smiles,
Yes,
or
yes,
even the utensil will smile when you work, or the
yes.
area will actually let you know what you need to do, what you don't need to do, and certain times, so the house
It's
speaks to me
it's
sometimes.
really like being in an altered state of consciousness.
Yes, and that is
Yes.
where, you are always connected. You're never disconnected. That's what. When you are in that state of connection, that I'm already always connected and
Yeah.
always with the divine. Why do I need to care? Why do I need to bother about so many things? You are there, huh? You are, my life is going on. That's why, that is how I actually feel. And this is a very beautiful feeling because, as they say, when we were reading Maktub and the yesterday story, I think, or day
Yes.
before yesterday, whatever the day
Yes.
was, we are, already destined for certain things, but we still think that, we need to do certain things. But
Yes.
the divine has already kept something in destiny for us already.
Well, I have to tell you that I'm thinking I have to keep a moon calendar
Yes, you should.
because I have the feeling that my moods, my perceptions, how I feel about myself even is cyclical. And I don't want to be as much a victim. I'm just going to use that word right now, the victim, kind of the ignorant one. I don't want to be ignorant about it.
Yeah,
So when I'm getting tired or less energy or when I have sometimes I feel like I have boundless energy or like there's no questions at all about anything, but
yeah,
it's not steady and it does fluctuate, but it comes back.
yeah.
So I want to start watching the moon calendar and
Yes.
becoming
Meaning,
more
so this
receptive.
comes to me, two things come to me. One is the light, and then one is the menstruation period for women. First
Yeah.
thing is that the light is, so in yesterday's Hindi session, we had Guru Anandamayi Ma's Swadhyay. In that, she says, somebody asked questions about light. So she says the light comes and goes, but it does not, it will come, it will remain for a while, and then it will go. So then
Yeah.
Guru Ma Anandamayi says that yes, the light will come, fluctuate, it will come back, and it will go, but then it will come back again. So don't worry, the light is
Don't
there.
worry. Yes.
Don't worry, the light is there. This is the first thing that came to me when you were talking. Second
Yeah.
thing, the one is that during the time when we are like going through the moon phase, for women especially, or for men also, I would say, but for everyone who has hair, what happens is these are kind of our antennas.
Yes.
Okay, these are kind of antennas and constellations, I would say. So during the time our body goes through these changes, the whole month, our head, our brain, our consciousness, everything is, getting to know things here, there, everything, like neurons, bursting and getting to know things. And then later on, when the menstruation happens, we release that energy. We release that energy.
Oh.
And that
But
is,
you know
but
I'm menopausal, so
I understand.
you
But still
understand.
we still
But
go through.
anyway, yes.
Anyway, still everyone goes through. Now, when we are talking about men also, they also go through. They don't have menstruation, but they also go through these changes. So whatever goes on around us is there in our hairs. And when we cut the hair, that is why women are always, why we actually, align with the shadow aspect of the feminine energies, shadow aspect, why we understand many other things that some people don't, because we have this ability. But many men who tap into this feminine nature, they can also tap into this energy, right? So our hair is kind of, it taps into all kinds of energies, consciousness, everything. It's there, the understanding is there, but we think that no, it is not there. But once we tap in into ourselves, we know. How we know that the other person does not have good feelings about us, or they have that feeling about us, something? We know that. Why? That is why.
Sometimes we get it wrong. Just saying.
Yeah, sometimes we can be, but not always. Anyway, let's go on to meditation, masters. It was very good discussion at this time. I'm happy that we all spoke and we all understood. But thank you. So, masters, let's go into meditation. At least 30 minutes of meditation. I know it's late, but we can still do it. And it's good to discuss, to have something in your mind to understand the higher concepts and to go forward with it. So now, as we go within, masters, thank you so much, Hilary and Anshumanji. Wonderful. So, masters, let's close our eyes. Let's sit cross-legged with your feet crisscrossed like this, hands clasped and fingers into fingers. Keep on your lap and then close your eyes, masters. Wear a pyramid or close your room's light if you want to. If you want to sit in darkness, you can. And as you sit cross-legged, try to inhale deeply, exhale softly, at least 7 to 8 times. So we invite and invoke the higher realm masters of the spiritual realm, the angelic realm, and the divine realms. We call on to our masters who are connected with Most High, and also Patri sir, to help us understand the subject of integral yoga at this time by Master Sri Aurobindo Ghose. And also we invite and invoke the presence of Sri Aurobindo Ghose Master. We would love to know this subject of the integral yoga and what it means to have a supra mental mind. Help us and inculcate us your teaching. Help us with the understanding that you understood and you brought in front of everyone. Dear Master, please bring this subject and also help us understand this subject. Help us by raising our consciousness. Help us with the super mind and help us to know the integral yoga. How can we get helped, or how can we understand what it means to be on this path of integral yoga, how to achieve that state, and how to process it? What are the steps, or what are the parts of it? We want to know everything about the integral yoga. The teachings, the concept that you shared with the world. May you help us through meditation at this time, Master. To all the Light and Soul Meditation Group members who are present here. So with every in-breath and every out-breath, we are connected with our great Master, Sri Aurobindo Ghose. Dear Aurobindo Ghose Master, please help us, align us with your consciousness. Share your divine knowledge, your wisdom. With each and every breath, Masters, let us go within and slowly exhale. Let go of everything that bothers you. And with again the next in-breath, imagine you are becoming one with everything. Your breath is your guru. Your breath teaches you to become one with the divine at this time. The divine energies are within you, masters. Each and every breath makes you feel special. It puts you in a state of bliss. The Parabrahma that we know about, who we are, why we are here, what is the purpose of our life, the Brahman that exists, the questions that we have about ourselves, the truth that we need to see. Share this truth with us. Help us to know our truth. Help us and align us with the truth. Help us to raise our consciousness when we open the channels of truth, when we open ourselves and remove any kind of mask that we still carry. When we know our truth, when we walk with the truth, when we speak our truth, when we choose truth, there is a huge shift that happens. This shift is brought by the truth that you are speaking. The masters of the truth, the masters of light, they come and help you. They become you. You become them. You are being helped and protected by them. The knowledge that you get is because the light masters, the masters of truth, they bring this knowledge, the divine light, into you, which becomes the integral part of you. You become that part. You become one with the masters, one with the divine, and one with everything. And now there is no liberation. It's just that you are the one. You are the divine energy, the Prakriti, where the creation happens, the dissolution also happens. You know when to disintegrate, you know when to integrate. And you go and become one with everything. The Purush becomes the Prakriti. The Prakriti becomes the Purush. You know when to take action. You know when to surrender. The Prakriti needs to surrender to the Purush. The Purush needs to take action for with the force for the nature. This force is given by the Purush. The Purush surrenders to this force, and now it becomes one with the Prakriti. It becomes the Prakriti itself. Everything becomes one. There is no, you cannot distinguish between the two. Where, when the two meets, is the union state. It's called the yoga. The integral yoga is also where the Purush meets the Prakriti and the two mind become one. The supra mind, the super mind, mind within mind, and with different sections to it, different parts to it, where the super mind knows that there is another part along with the manifested part that is called as the unmanifested part, from where you start manifesting every possibility that you can think of. And there are so many possibilities, infinite possibilities. And you exist in all those infinite possibilities. Which one would you like to choose? You have all the options, as if you are putting your shopping inside your shopping cart. You're choosing things, you're choosing life. So why not visualize, choose what you want in your life? Every possibility is out there. So as we inhale, as we exhale, let us become one with everything, masters. Feel this oneness with your breath. Gain the Paramananda, which is called as the blissful state. But above this blissful state is the oneness. Above the state is that integral part of yourself. Where you are now, you are everything. You are the one. There is no one else apart from you. You are the one, the divine, the chosen one. Because you exist, or you are the integral part of everything. From you comes the Purush, the Prakriti, the creation, the action. The message is there is a major change ahead of you, masters. Something major is about to happen. At this time, Master is saying, you don't need to do anything. Just see that moment happening in front of your eyes. Go through that change. You don't need to choose anything. Just follow the flow. Don't react, only respond at this time when this happens. And respond in a way where you are not saying no to anything and not saying yes to anything. Just wait and watch. Be extremely aware, be extremely conscious of what is happening around you. That's the message of the masters coming through, masters. The life is not for the weak. A life well lived comes with a lot of challenges. So don't become miserable. You are never miserable, masters. Be with your breath, masters. Every breath has the power to change your reality. You have the power to change your own reality. There is all kinds of possibilities. So as you inhale and exhale, go slow and steady with each and every breath, coming in, going out. This golden light surrounds you all the time. This golden light comes in as you inhale. And as you release any kind of pain, trauma, any disease, any uneasiness out through your breath. Take your time, masters, to breathe in, breathe out. Let go of any thoughts. Only remember, you are the spirit. You are one with everything. You are the one. You are the divine. The spirit has now come down upon you. The Holy Spirit, the spirit that guides you, the spirit that knows everything, what has been unsaid, what has been left, everything.
Can you be a travel advisor?
Take your time, masters. Slowly, steadily, one breath after one breath. My dear master, now very slowly let us all come back into our body consciousness. Let us stay as conscious as we are at this time, but also let us stay more conscious, more aware. Let us be aware of our senses. Let us come into our present life incarnations, name, identity, whatever we are in this lifetime. Come back to the real world at this time, the illusionary world that you have. Slowly straighten up your spine, your neck, your head. Slowly take your time to feel your body from head to toe. Let us give gratitude to all the masters. They are masters, we are really going to thank them for every knowledge, every wisdom that you share, the consciousness that you got was collected with. Thank you so much for each and every. Now very slowly, masters, feel your body and feel your hands and toes. Also, we are grateful for this wonderful time together as a group, raising our energy, consciousness, wisdom, and releasing anything that is not aligned. My dear masters, now very slowly, come back into our body consciousness and slowly unclasp your hands and keep them on your eyes for 5 seconds, masters. Take your time, everyone, and keep your hands on your eyes for 5 seconds now. Slowly, steadily. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly, masters, you can all come out. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, masters. Thank you. Gratitude to each and everyone. Welcome back, masters. Gratitude. So, masters, at this time, I'm now going to end the session and we will meet tomorrow, same time when the session starts, and try to be on time so that we can start the session on time. Also, gratitude and thank you so much. Let us meet tomorrow again, masters. So stay happy, stay healthy, stay vibrant, and let us meditate every day with our individual energies and consciousness, also with the group energies, group and group consciousness, masters. Thank you so much, and help teach meditation to everyone, awaken everyone, and do your much needed inner work every day, Masters. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And thank you for your message, everyone. Good night, good day, wherever you are, from whichever place you're connecting. Thank you so much, Masters.